Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you know, Kevin Federline is coming out with a memoir called You Thought You Knew, but I'm here to tell you what I know. So let's dive into the chart between him and Britney and see what their synastry reveals. His Juno conjuncts her Venus, and this is the ideal wife energy. She sees him, rather he sees her as the woman that could be the right one for marriage. And it feels like destiny on a romantic, personal level. And it also feels very familiar to her in a way because it's conjuncting her South Node. And it was destiny and a possible past marriage as well. And the fated part also comes from his North Node making a conjunction to her Ascendant. So he piggybacked on her for his life direction because his Venus and Eros and Bilk conjuncts his descendant. Whatever conjuncts your descendant in your natal chart, this is what you're going to look for in another partner. With his Venus conjuncting his descendant, he wants true love. He wants a woman also who is erotic and passionate because his Eros is also there. And this is another interesting energy with the other two asteroids because there's Bilk there and Swindle. So he allegedly wants a woman that he can take advantage of or maybe benefit from financially due to the Bilk and Swindle asteroids. Now, Swindle is pretty much self-explanatory, but it encompasses lying, cheating, or being a con artist. And Bilk has the energies of taking advantage of someone financially. Her Medusa conjuncts his Venus. So in this case, she knows her power and she uses it to her advantage. She can pull him into her web like magic. And if you're familiar with the Greek mythology with Medusa, you know that she could turn men into stone if they looked at her. His sun, Bride, and Dionysus are all together holding hands they're all holding hands together, and the sun, it's who you are. It's your essence. It's your core. So now we have Bride and Dionysus. This to me suggests that he is the ultimate house husband because sun, like I said, it's your essence. And Bride is self-explanatory. I don't know if he stayed home and lollygagged around or watched the kids and she was off on tour and in concerts, but that's what this suggests. And also Dionysus is there. And that has to do with a hedonistic sort of lifestyle, partying, overindulgence, drinking, just having a good time, the party boy. Because in Greek mythology, Dionysus was one of the original Animal House type guys. And Dionysus has to do with wine and drinking. So in their dynamic, he almost becomes the bride or the house husband. That's what this means to me. If anyone knows about their relationship, what went on in the beginning or when they were married, let me know, because I didn't really follow them too closely. Also, her Pholus conjuncts his sun, and this means explosive arguments and drama. And this blows him up even more, amplifying his indulgent, over-the-top energy. And Pholus explodes what it touches. It's like a mini Jupiter, so it magnifies the energies it comes in contact with. Now, behind the scenes, her Aphrodite, Deianira, and Grimm conjuncts his IC. So this is like a dark fairy tale. There's seduction, it's magnetic, and enchanting due to the Grimm asteroid. And if you know about fairy tales, there's Grimm's fairy tales, So there's these archetypes of darkness and shadowy figures in the fairy tales that he wrote. But she brings in victimhood into this story due to Dejanira, the victim asteroid. And there's desire here mixed with drama and a sexy sort of energy because of her Aphrodite. And there's like this dark fantasy going on as well, because this is all starting to come together. It's just fascinating the way the chart plays out. And when you start plugging in everything, it forms this picture that sometimes you don't even know what's going to show up. Now, this is fascinating because her Tantalus is conjunct his ascendant. And she literally is the forbidden fruit for him. She's the one he desires or desired, craved, but there's always something elusive just out of reach, because Tantalus has to do with, it's like walking through an orchard and you see the apple on the tree and you want it, but you can't quite reach it. There's no step stool around, there's no ladders. So you put your arm out and your hand to pick the fruit off the tree, but you can't quite reach it. That's the energies that Tantalus has. So even in this marriage, it was just like she was not quite there the way he wanted her. And it's not about obsession, or it's not about obsession in a needy sense. It's about this pull towards someone he can never fully have. And then there's the impossible dream. His Mars in Cancer and Don Quixote are conjuncting her North Node. So this is going to be the theme of the relationship for her and the destiny. Now, he wants to protect her. He wants to save her, to fight for her, but it can't happen because Don Quixote is the impossible dream. Now, his Mars in Cancer, that has a progressive, passive-aggressive sort of energy. So he promises that he can deliver more than he actually can. So for her, this relationship becomes a faded story of chasing what she can't have, and he's actually doing the same thing. He can't really have her as well. There's sort of almost like a barrier between the two of them, and their energies don't quite click, which makes sense because they do not have any moon connections between the two of them. Zero. The moon in a synastry chart is really the most important, in my opinion, because it's the emotional heartbeat that keeps two people emotionally synchronized and soulful in a way. It's the heart. It's how you come together and how your emotions click, which is really important. I mean, you could get together and have this honeymoon phase and attraction and passion, but that doesn't sustain itself in not long term. That's why the moon is very important. Now, her Lucifer conjuncts his North Node. So she brings this over-the-top, know-it-all force into the relationship, and arrogance. Like, I know more than you do. You should listen to me. I'm experienced. And that was the relationship. That is one of the themes in the relationship for him. There's arrogance here, and she acts like she knows everything. And for him, it was probably like after a while, his confidence or his masculinity just became, in a way, he felt like he was being frozen or turned into stone, which has to do with her Medusa conjuncting his Venus. Now, speaking of North Nodes, his Think conjuncts his North Node. And this is a theme in his life which centers around the energies of making disloyalty and hidden agendas a part of it's a central part of his life. That's my opinion. I know whatever touches your north node, that's what people either are going to remember you by, or what it's a very strong thread woven into your existence. And Fink also represents betrayal or tattling, actions where someone isn't playing fair or undermining others. And he will be tattling because he's writing his memoir. So I think that's how this is coming into play. Whether he tells the truth or not, we'll find out. But I have more aspects to go over here. Now, her Mad Hatter and Toro conjuncts his Neptune in the third house. So she has this way of twisting his mind into a fog of drama and bossiness. She can bend reality around him, drawing him into an illusion where he doesn't even notice it at first. Because Toro has to do with bossiness, aggression, and being a bully. Mad Hatter has to do with drama, creating craziness, and there's this gaslighting sort of energy where you create all the craziness and then you're blaming someone else for the craziness that you started. And his Neptune is there. So this means, like I said, he doesn't even know that this is happening until much further down the road. So there's, like I said, there's chaotic gaslighting energy, and it keeps him off balance and turns him into where it makes him feel like he doesn't really know what's going on. He second guesses his intuitions, and it keeps him off guard, and it keeps him off balance while he's mesmerized. And then when the fog lifted, and it always does when it comes to Neptune, he bailed. So her saying that he was more interested in fame and his career, to me, is bogus. I'm not buying that. I'm not in the Neptune fog. So really, and I'm telling you what the chart is telling me, because here's another thing that's really important. His Jupiter conjuncts her lie. Jupiter expands and magnifies her exaggerations, and there's half-truths involved here and dramatized versions of reality, deceit, and overblown stories. Jupiter conjuncting her lie, I've seen this many times. Many, many times. So between the two of them, I don't think she told the truth to him. And also her swindle, which has to do with even more deceptive behavior, it conjuncts his sun, a very important luminary, in the 6th house. So she turned his everyday life, his work routines and habits, and she set the stage for lies, cheating, and manipulation, allegedly. So she messed with his ego because her swindle is conjuncting his sun, and she kept him off balance while he tried to navigate her cunning and dramatic energy, which ties back to Mad Hatter, Toro, and Medusa. Now, her Casanova conjuncts his moon. So she really got to his emotional side. He felt butterflies and he got all dreamy and emotional, but there's a twist here. She's got charm and flirtiness baked right into this, so he can't really fully trust it. Casanova is one of the bad boys in astrology. So there's a very strong possibility here. And this really ties back to her Medusa conjuncting his Venus, because now we have Casanova. So there's this flirty sort of sly, sneaky, teasing sort of energy. And I don't think she was faithful. Not with these aspects. His Atropos and Fortuna conjuncts her moon. Atropos has to do with the cutter in mythology, one of the 3 fates. She had the scissors, and she would decide the life and death, or how long something would live. So he cuts right into the heart of her emotions while also tossing luck and twists into the mix because of Fortuna. So she feels these faded moments of joy and heartbreak at the same time. And she's snipped by the forces that she can't really control. She can't control these energies that he brings in. To her, love feels thrilling and lucky because of Fortuna 1 minute, and then the next it feels like he's cutting the cord and leaving her emotionally abandoned, because that ties into his Uranus is conjuncting her Ixion and blow, and sparks are going to fly. But also, that also coincides with the fact that they have a Uranus square moon double whammy. That's huge. But I want to go back to his Uranus is conjuncting her Ixion and blow. So there's huge sparks, sudden explosions, eruptions, fights, and she could lash out at him. Maybe physically due to blow, because that has to do with one of the energies of blow has to do with physical altercations. And with his Uranus there, it can suddenly erupt without warning. Ixion is there as well. And that would mean very crossing the boundaries, bad girl energy or bad boy energy. So this is a dangerous sort of energy. Blow also hints at failures and mistakes. So this energy is just unpredictable, volatile, and combined with Ixion, like I said, it's a fiery cycle of bad boundary crossing, rebellion, betrayal, and the energy is just, it's toxic. Her Pallas and Apollo conjuncts his North Node. This shows the theme of the relationship for him. So she's the powerful queen, strategic, wise, commanding, and magnetic, holding hands with Apollo, the god of beauty and the arts. Now, her Bluet conjuncts his Lilith and Nessus. So this means she triggered his shadow side. Or there were moments where cheating, temptation, or betrayal came into play, which is a strong possibility here because of her swindle conjuncting his sun. Now, Nessus is the energy of abuse and power struggles. So this really amps up the toxicity between the two of them. And there could have been accusations, manipulating games. It could have triggered deep insecurities in him around trust and fidelity. They have a Uranus square moon double whammy. So here we have sudden shocks, unpredictability, and instability. The moon is the emotional core. The moon needs comfort, and it's sensitive. And Uranus here brings rebellion, disruption, and an out of nowhere sort of energy that's full of shocks, surprises, and it's just jolting. So their emotional connection really is constantly uprooted and shocked. Like one day everything feels calm and nice, and then the next day a total curveball hits. So both are triggering the other's emotional unpredictability. And it creates this cycle where there's surprises and chaos, and it feeds off of each other. So their relationship emotionally was really wild, unstable, and emotionally volatile. I don't know what's in the book. I haven't read it. It hasn't come out yet, but it's going to be very interesting if my interpretation matches anything in the book. But remember, he has Mercury opposing Pluto in his natal chart. So he might bend words like a weapon, and he might use this to conceal, this energy to conceal and to probe or to persuade. And with his Sphinx conjuncting his North Node, And his Mars in Cancer. Mars in Cancer. Don't get mad, get even. And he'll do it in strategic ways due to his Pluto opposing his Mercury, the thinking, the talking, and the writing planet. So that's all I have today. And please like, share, and subscribe to support my channel. And if you need a Synastry chart done, I'm available and my email is in my description box. Have a nice day.